about 6 inches to the sideline. I remember being on that sideline as a visitor. And when it was a close game and those fans were right up in your grill, I mean, it felt like they were on the sideline with you. Boy, it's tough to block them out down there.
Direct snap. Here's Andrew Harris with a cutback. And into the traffic, and he gets stacked up at the 35-yard line, has a pickup of 4.
I'll miss this stadium because there's just some great history in Iverwin. I think first name that comes to mind for me, Angelo Mosca, and just a great tough town that loves their football. And I know how tough it is to come in here and try and get a win. And you know, no matter how good you are, just walking out of that tunnel with the fans in the end zone in your ear is tough enough.
2nd and 5. And there's Moore. That one through his fingertips, incomplete. And there's a rare stop and 2 and out, the first one of the game for the Lions.
The only entity that can stop the BC Lions tonight seem to be the BC Lions themselves, because if that ball is caught, it's an easy first down. You turn in another 3-4 yards for Nick Moore, and he is first down territory easily.
Well, there's a guy capable of changing the momentum of this game. Chris Williams is back. St. Paul McCallum can keep it away from him. Good boot. Williams from his 25. Gets through. Chris Williams. And then nailed at the 50-yard line by Koshi Mwamba. 49-yard kick. 25 on the Williams return. Taken here at Iverwin in the past. Well, Henry Burris wants to get things going right now. Great field position. They start at the Ticat 50. Across the middle, and Fantuz pulls it down right at midfield. Maybe 6 for Andy Fantuz.
Coming on of late, Andy Fantuz had a few more catches over the last few weeks and a couple more to convert for first downs. Last 3 games he's had 8 first down catches, but again, the sense of urgency this team needs to create here. We got to start getting plays in and out of that huddle.
Second catch, 32 yards. He had a touchdown taken off the board by a penalty tonight. Burris, and Chris Williams drops the football. Corey Banks was bearing down on him, and Williams was distracted enough to drop the ball.
Zone defense, so Dante Marsh is going to drop him here and get deep and allow Corey Banks to come underneath it, but there's no reason in the world that Chris Williams shouldn't hang on to that one, because Banks in trail, he's not there to distract him. That's just a flat-out drop. Great news by Ottawa City Council. Ottawa football team will be back in 2014. I thought of that when I saw Corey Banks.
Former Renegade.
That's right. Here's
Bartel sailing the punt to the sidelines and bouncing out at about the 16-yard line. Well, coming up following the game, the revealing and emotional story of how gifted Ohio-born quarterback Chuck Ealey found refuge in Canada and the CFL in the race of racial intolerance in the U.S. Ealey recounts his early struggles and successes in Stone Thrower, the Chuck Ealey story, the second documentary of the Engraved on a Nation series tonight. Again, immediately following this game on TSN, had a chance to watch it earlier this week. Really terrific documentary. Salute to his daughter, too, who helps tell the story. And Nick Moore, a graduate of Toledo. Same school as Chuck Ealey, well familiar with the man who went undefeated in college football at Toledo, Chuck Ealey, and then came to the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, didn't get a shot in the National Football League after a great college career, and CFL gave him his opportunity. So I can't wait to watch that one. 2 in the series.
Asked Nick Moore about whether he knew Chuck Ealey prior to the game. He said, oh yeah, big plaque there in the stadium. for the Legends. And I think this says something about Nick Moore. He says, I want to know about the heroes that preceded me in the game. And he was very interested in Chuck Yealy's contributions at his alma mater, Toledo. Catch by Sean Moore up over the 30-yard line. And another first down.
Chuck Yealy gets his opportunity in Canada, opening the door for many after him.
And Henry Burris talked about this yesterday too. He's a historian of the game and appreciated that Chuck Yealy paved the way for quarterbacks like Henry Burris, Warren Moon, Condredge Holloway. One of the stories that does make the Canadian Football League is an important in the history of sports. Incomplete, intended for Sean Gore once again.
Lule looking at 2nd and 10 here. It's where Andrew Harris has become so important as he checks for blitz and releases, sometimes up into the line, sometimes outside, as he closes in on that yards from scrimmage title he's looking for.
You know, the Lions were 10 for 11 converting on 2nd down in the opening half. See what they do here. Lule stands in, and the pass, he is caught. Good catch there by Gore, and see where they mark it. Very close, looks like it could be enough for the first down. And it is indeed another first down. Sean Gore's had a good night.
Yeah, he has, and that was a tough catch, and he's going to make over here. Andrew Harris comes out of the backfield on this side. I'm going to show you both, because watch how open Andrew Harris is. Sean Gore makes the tough one, but stop it here. Andrew Harris has all this room to run. He gets that little swing pass out of the backfield.
Up to 14 for 17 on 2nd down conversions. And Andrew Harris brought down quickly by that new defensive tackle, Terrence Moore, trying to rip the ball out.
So let's take a look. You need 85 yards coming in to get to 1,000. There's his yards from scrimmage totals and counting as he closes in. Terry Evichy, 67 to the Calgary Stampeders, and become the all-time leader in yards from scrimmage for a Canadian. 36 yards to go. Remember, he has 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving in this game as well.
Came into the night 330 yards short of the Lions Club record, which has stood for a long time. There is Sean Gore with his 6th catch of the game, and another first down into Ticat territory.
And a frustrated Ray Williams. He hits Lule as he completes this to Sean Gore, who's getting the matchups that they're looking for. A little one-on-one routed blitz here. He's got to get turned around quickly, and you see that subtle movement inside out. And Ray Williams is starting to get frustrated. He's coming on the blitz from the middle. Free lane, hits Lule, but not before he gets it out there into Gore.
Jeff Tisdale checks in on the corner. Marcel Young moves inside on that Hamilton defense. First down. Lule underneath. Sean Gore, another catch. As they're working Sean Gore.
I always wonder who's going to step up when your veterans are injured. Arlen Bruce on the sideline, if you're just joining us, and not on the sideline, not dressed tonight. Geroy Simon also out of action, and Sean Gore 7-68. Seen a few catches by Nick Moore tonight.
So for Gore, it's his 50th catch of the year. Second and short, and Harris straight ahead for the first down.
Gore's a nice combination, you know, of all you want in a receiver. In other words, he's got the speed to get downfield, get in behind coverage. His route running improves, it seems to me, every game, because he's starting to set guys up now. You saw that subtle little move on the curl where he ran his curl and then slid inside just to get his body in front of the defender behind him. And that's just playing from the shoulders up and using his experience, and it seems like he's playing beyond his years.
Final play, third quarter, barring a penalty. Andrew Harris 50 yards away from 1,000. Passing play for the Lions. Time for Lulay. Now running out of it, and he'll run out and get taken out at the cart. And a flag comes down. Marcel Young, a little slow to get up after he took Lulay into the golf cart. In the tight confines here at Ivor Wynne.
Yeah, as we just showed you, and this is something that I know players, coaches, management are not going to miss about the stadium, and I know it's cool for the fans to be that close, but this is where it becomes dangerous for players when you're that close to the sideline.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Hamilton. Penalty was after the quarter ended. We'll add the play to the first play of the second quarter, next quarter. First down.
So the 15-yard penalty will be tacked on, and we'll pick it up with the start of the fourth quarter with the Lions in charge. Well, the stats indicative that it's the #1 offense in terms of yards against the #8 defense.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, just first downs alone and how dominant the BC Lions have been. I've just been so impressed with how efficient Travis Lulay has been and their level of execution. What's a little surprising to me, though, is that the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the last 2 home games here, put 92 points on the board, and one of those games was against Montreal Alouettes, and their offense has played pretty well. Now, this is a veteran BC defense, Chris, but a little surprised they're this bogged down.
Mike Benavides watched the game film from last year again with his team. He said, I wasn't looking for redemption, but it was a reminder that it wasn't pretty when they came to Ivor Wynne last year. It's been a different story tonight. Remember last year in October, 42-10 as an 8-game win streak came to a crashing halt. And in that third quarter, Ticats did not have a first down and had 3 2-and-outs. First down at the Hamilton 17 to start the fourth, and Lulay guns it over the middle, and Coakley got a hand on it, and it's incomplete.
Well, Ricardo Coakley is trying to take some chances and getting an opportunity maybe for the last time to play for Markeith Knowlton, who should be back next week. They were optimistic it would be this game, but took a gamble there, played the play, and just flew to the football.
So 2nd and 10. Pressure on, Lulay steps up, jump ball in the end zone, and it's over the head of the intended target, Courtney Taylor.
Well, you're right, Chris, when you talked about when the #1 team in the league, when you look at rush yards per game, I mean, they're middle of the pack in points per game offensively, but the MOP from a year ago, the defending Grey Cup champions and the team with the best record in the CFL against a Hamilton team that have played well enough in 2 phases for the most part this year to have a way better record than they do on offense and special teams, but defensively just have not been able to get it together all season long.
25-yarder for McCallum, and he puts it through. Tempers starting to get short on the field, and coach getting out on the field quickly to make sure nothing happens. Our sack tally brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger across Canada. Check.
BC Lions lead the way right now, and they've got a little bit of a jump. The first game of this weekend's games as we close in on £1 million.
And Karan Williams taking the sack lead individually. With the sack here tonight, number 10, number 49 in his career.
Last year was his personal best season for Karan Williams. It was 11 sack season for him. Of those 49 career coming in, 1 tonight to make it at 50-31 as a BC line. I'm going to show you a little bit as he comes out on defense here. He talked about early in the season is how he bends the corner, how he gets a low center of gravity. I've been asking some of the offensive linemen in the league about blocking Karan Williams. They said it's just his balance and how he can get so low and powerful coming off the edge. You feel like you're pinning him as an offensive lineman, and then he somehow springs out of that low stance and gets past you. It's just incredible how quick he can get around him.
Rhea Jones on the return. Up by the first man, still going. Over midfield, and Rhea Jones finally brought down at the 32-yard line. Terrific return. See if that can stoke the Hamilton offense.
Sideline return. In other words, a called return where he wants to get the block and to come down and pick up in front of him so he can find that lane with only 4 defenders, 4 cover guys right here for the Lions. If one of those guys gets a little bit out of their lane, he can make one miss. Right there it was Lin-Jay Shell. Now he's got a chance and picks up nice yards on this return. Best field position off a return for Henry Burris.
Longest kickoff return on the season for the Tiger Cats. And Ryan Phillips was shaken up on that kick return.
Mentioned Ryan Phillips off the top. He's got a interception in the last 2 games.
Lin-Jay Shell moves to the corner, or Lin-Jay Shell moves into his spot. As Phillips goes off for at least 3 plays. Avon Coburn cuts it back, drives down to the 25 and has 6.
That time Karan Williams moved inside and just tried to blow it up, and then talked about it to Avon Coburn. He just slipped through Karan Williams' hands. But that's the beauty of having Karan Williams in your lineup if you're the BC Lions, because as a Montreal Alouette, early in his career, he was an interior line. Moved to the outside rush end position with the Lions.
2nd and 4. Here comes the blitz. Burris got away, and a crosser to Williams. This Williams at first down to the 15.
Well, here's a great example of how you can be a good, productive football player. Watch Karan Williams come up on Brian Simmons here. Now he's spying here. He's not going on a speed pass rush. He doesn't want to let Henry Burris outside, but the play's not over. So the big defensive lineman, after coming up the field on the tackle, turns off of that and goes down and makes the tackle on a little receiver down the field. Just keep hustling.
Got a problem with the 20-second clock, and one of the officials, sideline officials, came out to notify Glenn Johnson. That's the initial first down for the Ticats in the second half, and it comes over 2 minutes into the 4th quarter. But now knocking at the door, 1st and 10 at the BC 15. And a hand off to Coburn, and he'll score. Avon Coburn, touchdown. Counter play and a 15-yard run for Coburn.
Well, they absolutely had to find the end zone on this drive, especially with the field position created by Andre Jones on the return. And you're right, little counter action. Nice hole off the left side of the formation for Avon Coburn. There's a bit of a fight in the back of the end zone after that play.
And the offense stays out, going for 2. The Lions scrambling here, and I think to get set, they decided just to take the penalty. Anton McKenzie, who's a veteran guy out there, realized the Lions weren't set, so.
That's exactly right. He saw that Solomon Elamimian wasn't in. He was hustling in. Not sure if he may have been called for an illegal substitution anyway. So Anton McKenzie just went up. Rather than burn a timeout, he just deliberately went offside.
And they had 13 guys on the field, so smart play by McKenzie.
It's been A bit of a transition going on with the BC defense. I mentioned the injuries to Cleve Mitchell and Eric Taylor. And the change to that 30 front requires a little more substitution. Rich Stubler is on the right, Kelly Bates on the left.
Offside. BC. Move the ball up half the distance to the goal. Retry the convert.
You know, that's a heads-up play by Anton McKenzie. I know this two-point convert gets a little closer, but you don't want to burn a timeout there. And Ryan Phillips back in the game, as you saw.
Going for two, pressure off the edge with an open man, Ventoux. And so it's a 16-point game. They are within 2 possessions.